Hey guys, Constantine, what's up? So this week I wanted to stay in the theme of the top 10 because there's so many top 10 kind of hiker related topics that I thought it was a fun way to do this so far. So I've noticed that once you get into a top 5 kind of limits a little bit. The top 10 just gives you more options. And I've touched on a lot of trails lately, which you have seen. Now I want to go into more of the hiking realm itself of what happens while on trail. So this video is going to be the top 10 physical pains in your body and where they are felt. That's a long title. I'm going to shorten it. But yeah, so the top 10 pains while you're through hiking. These pains can happen on shorter trails, but this video is more about the pain that grows and shrinks and kind of fluctuates on these longer distance hikes. So number one, everybody's going to know this one. It's the feet. The feet bring you through where you're moving. They're vehicles to walk, 2,000 miles, 3,000 miles, 500 miles, 1,000 miles, however far you're walking. They're what bring you through it. And the physical pain of the feet, there's no way around it. Your feet are going to hurt. It could be hurting on a scale of my feet are just tired. The muscles are just holding on, and they did a lot of rocks and roots today, so they had to move in different positions. It could be that kind of foot pain. It could be blisters, hot spots, which is always uncomfortable. And then it could be something that my partner and I have coined the firefoot. And firefoot even takes on a lot of different kind of realms. There's a firefoot that it feels like your bones pushing through the bottom of your foot. It could be your foot's just very hot from excuse me, friction. And when you're hiking long distance trails, your feet are going to hurt. There are going to be days that they're great, but almost every day your feet are going to talk to you if you're doing high mileage days, because you're putting so much pressure on them. You're asking so much from them. And that's why it would be number one. So number two of the top 10 pains while through hiking a long distance trail, you're going to feel it in the shoulders. You're carrying a heavyish pack, anywhere from people that got ultralight, 10 pounds, even below 10 pounds, to people that are on the heavier realm, which is 30 pounds, 40 pounds. We carried a 50-pound pack on the AT. Right now we're carrying around a 20 to 25. But no matter even getting down in small amount of weight, you're holding a pack on your back all day. That could be 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours if it's really good light. So your shoulders are going to get sore just from holding. And it gets better as you go. You're going to have to do some stretches, kind of roll the shoulders out. But you are going to feel it in the shoulders. And like anything on this list, it fluctuates. There are days that are really tough. There are days that you may not even notice it. But the shoulders come in at number two because you're wearing a pack. You're going to feel it in the shoulders. So number three is you are going to feel quads. And you're going to feel your quads growing and then shrinking. So your quads are going to just keep getting bigger and bigger on trail to put up with the demand of what you're asking of them. You're asking of them multiple hundreds of miles, even multiple thousands of miles. We're going to be asking of them next year 8,000 miles. So the quads are a big part of it, and you'll have sore quads. Once again, it fluctuates. If you have a really tough day of uphill, you might feel it in a different part of the quad than if you have a really tough day of downhill. But no matter what, your quads are firing all day. So you are going to feel muscle discomfort. The initial part, the first couple weeks, you're going to feel them tighter than once you get on trail and you start to get into that learning curve and grow. But number three is quads, because they're going to start talking to you. And I'm going to say this again, and I think this will be the last time I touch on this. I'm saying top 10 pains, physical pains of a through hike, but it's not like it's very, very painful at all times. It fluctuates, but most of every day you're going to notice it to a varying degree in these parts of the body, and it doesn't really go away. It just goes down a little bit, or you get used to using it. So last time I'm going to touch on that. So number four, top 10 pains of physical pains of a through hike. You're going to feel it in your hips. You're going to feel it right in the hip area, because if you're wearing a hip belt, you're going to be clamping in for multiple hours a day. And the hips are going to feel it a little bit of muscle, because your hips are going to be tightening while you're hiking. But we have almost permanent scars from hip rash, hip belt rash. So it chafes the side of your hips while it gets comfortable, and that can be from not having it pack adjusted correctly. And even if you had a pack adjusted 100% perfectly, you're going to be going through so many environments and so much different type of weather systems that it's going to be humid in your hips, it's going to be wet, it's going to be dry, and that just creates different types of chafe around your hip belt area. So yeah, we have permanent scars. We have these 2 scars on our hips that each year they've gotten better and they feel kind of callousy, but it still is going to be, you're going to feel it. This one you don't feel every day. Some days you might have a feeling of, oh, I can feel my hip belt is rubbing a little bit stronger. Some days you might, some weeks you might not even feel it, but it's still something that you will feel on a long distance hike. So number 5, this one's a fun one, and this one has stopped us in our tracks a lot of the time, and we are happy to say that with our new shorts we no longer have it. So number 5, butt chafe, or what we like to call baboon butt. It's when your butt turns super red like a baboon, and it's not just the butt, it's kind of, not going to get too graphic here, it's all the crevices around there, and that chafe is one of the most painful things we've experienced. So this comes out at number 5 and not near the top because it's extreme instances, but then it'll go away. So like, we've had extreme instances that we have waddled a 20-mile day, and when we say waddled, we waddled, like our legs were apart and we were waddling, and there were times we would have to stop because the friction was so hot and it's extremely painful. But then you might not have it for a month, you might not have it for 2 months. Last year we didn't have it at all. 2019 we had it, I think, 2 days on the Pinhoti Trail where it was like 120 degrees of heat, but it is extremely painful, and you're not gonna have a good time with baboon butt or butt chafe, because you're gonna have to keep irritating that area every single footstep. So to mitigate that, you can kind of have bod glide, all this stuff, but the best thing to mitigate that is continuing to go and push through it. At some points it will cut you off. Like, we wanted to do 25 miles a day one day on the AT, and we couldn't go another step. When we got into camp, like, we collapsed at like 20 miles. But once you go each day consistency, you'll start to, it's not callus that builds up, but it's like your skin gets tougher. So yeah, avoid that one at all costs. Number 5 is a hefty toll. So number 6 is your ankles, and this can come from not having proper, this can come from not securing your ankles properly with the right type of shoe, and it also can come from just being unlucky sometimes. Like, we've had many times that we're happy that our ankles are so thick. We always make a joke that somebody put us in a baby compressor and at the hospital and just never let us out. So like, all our bones are like really thick. So, you didn't need to know that, but I wanted to put that in there. So ankles, if you step on a rock, step on a root the wrong way, your ankle is going to twist a little bit, and that leads to ankles kind of being a really fine line that you have to walk, because you don't want to think about it too much, but your ankle is going to start hurting from just the repetitive motion, and then those unlucky instances that you might twist an ankle, or even not fully twisting it, but just tweak it the wrong way. So that comes in at number 6. Number 7, mostly on downhills. If you have a heavy downhill day ahead of you, you are going to feel this, no matter the shape you're in, no matter the trekking poles, no matter the pack weight, your knees are going to talk to you. We have had knee problems in the past. It's gotten better as we've continued to build the muscle up around it, but you will still feel sore knees. Not so much uphill, not so much flat, unless you scale those miles really high. Knees will really hurt on the downhills, and depending on the grade and depending on the length, it will really start talking to you. We've had downhills that we felt great, and we've had to stop for like 5-10 seconds just to let the knees like reset a little bit. And it's not too painful, but it's your body talking to you and saying, hey, you're putting a lot of pressure on us. Maybe let's go a little slower, or we need to finish this downhill, go fast, and don't go fast. If you run downhill, it's gonna hurt. Or run downhill, I don't know. You can do what you want, but this is just our opinion. When you get downhill and you get to flat, your knees kind of reset themselves. So that's number 7. Number 8, not many people would think about this because it's not a place of your body that's really holding a lot of the weight or getting used a lot. It does get used a lot, but not what you're thinking. So it's your neck. Number 8, we've had many days that from our pack straps, like being held on the pack and not releasing the pack for so long, that if we turn our neck to the left or if we turn our neck to the right, it's very tight right in here. And it can just be from the weight and keeping our head straight and all the bouncing that goes around. But not many people think about it, but the neck gets really tight when you do a lot of high mileage days. So the best thing for that is to kind of loosen the pack straps or even take the pack off for 2 minutes and just kind of stretch your neck, roll it out, and it will loosen up those tight muscles that have just been really firing for however many hours that you have been hiking. So number 9, not many people think about this one either, and we've noticed this. It fluctuates a little bit, so that's why it's at the bottom of the list. But your hands, and we're not even talking about cold, we're not even talking about too hot, we're not talking about falling and getting cut on the hands, we're talking about the blood in the hands. So when you're walking for these long distances every day, you might be holding the trekking poles down by your body, or your hands are always pumping. So the blood is always pumping to the fingertips. And I think it comes more in when the weather's a little bit different, but sometimes your fingers will feel like, I don't know, it's like a fire finger, like fire foot, but just with the fingers. And it's not what a lot of people think about. So sometimes if we're walking, we'll just have to like hold our hands up for 10 minutes and kind of let the blood go back down, because it's just constantly pushing blood like hard with the gravity, pushing it into all the extremities. And this one, it's more of a pain that is acclimation to the trail. Once you're on trail long enough, it tends to go away. It might come back every so often, but it's not too bad. So that's why it's lower at the bottom of the list. Number 10, the last one on the list, is the chest. The chest region, you're not using a lot of upper body in the sense of, you think like push-ups. You're not working your upper body out a lot. Hiking is a full body workout, but you lose a lot of muscle mass in the upper body. But your chest will still be sore because the pack is opening up those muscles and it's getting you better posture, better shoulders, back. But the chest will have soreness from moving around. Like if you have an especially tough day to scramble, it demands your body to twist and turn in a lot of ways that it might not be used to. And this one is at the bottom of the list again because it's not too frequent. We've noticed every so often like our chest might be really sore that day because a lot of that day demanded upper body contortions and upper body pulls, not pull-ups, but pulling on rock. And it will start targeting a muscle that is not used as frequently on the trail. And that's what makes it kind of sore and painful. But the chest, you don't have to worry about too much. It's on those high demand days that will come up. And that's why it's at number 10. Hey guys, so we were editing and we realized we missed the surprise number 11. So the surprise number 11 for this video is the eyes. The eyes are the 11th physical pain that you will feel on a through hike, and they are from sun, from just sweat getting into your eyes, from mosquitoes dive bombing your eyes. They're not what you would think would hurt a lot of the time, but they do. Wear sunglasses for a quick fix to all those, but it's just eye strain to get used to that. So that is a quick number 11 because we forgot to add it in there. So many parts of the body that within this top 10 list, we couldn't hit every one, but these are kind of the top contenders that you will notice more frequently than other parts of the body. Like we had forearms on the list because your forearms can get tight. We had hamstrings on the list because your hamstrings can get tight. We had calves, we had shins, we had a lot of stuff because it's your full body. Hiking is full body, so you are going to feel other pains besides these top 10. But these are the ones that are the most consistent. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following along. As always, if you love this content, we would love to hear from you below with a like, comment, or subscribe. And if you really love this content, you can always head over to our Patreon page and check out the behind the scenes of what goes into these videos, what goes into our hikes, what goes into our off season, because it's off on season. It's all one season. It's all this life. So And if you want to check out our gear company, go on over to 11skies.com, spelled S-K-Y-S, because we thought it was a cute name. And this gear is built from our experience and built from 16,000 plus miles hiked and felt every single step of what would be the best gear for long distance backpackers and for people that are just going out for smaller hikes. We've been able to find something that works for us and hopefully will work for you as well. So check out 11 Skies. We got pants coming soon. Right now we have the shorts and we have hats, and we're growing that merchandise around that as well. It's a passion of ours, and we want to share that passion with you. Find a piece of gear that works for you as well. So thank you so much for being a part of our journey. Thank you for following along. And if we missed anything on this list, let us know. I'd love to hear other types of pain that speak out to you on trail and that it's something you deal with that's frequent. We would just love to hear. So thank you for being a part of our journey. Cool. Peace.